Okay, welcome back. Episode 19 of Mended. We have the lovely Matthew Parlente. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Lauren.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. We just wrapped up a staff meeting and we want to get into it. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from. Get into your roots a little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Matt Palante, and I grew up here in Revere. Beachmont, actually, which is the capital of Revere, if you didn't know.
Is it really or no?
Yeah,
it's not, right?
No, there's no capital.
I know there's no
Revere.
capital, but
it
is
is.
it
It's
like
the unofficial capital of Revere. Yeah, Beachmont is where
it's
it
like
all
Faneuil
happens.
Hall of Boston?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, but better.
Yeah.
Because we have the ocean right there.
Yeah. And you used to have bogeys, but not anymore.
Oh man, bogeys!
I
What
know.
a staple.
I know.
You know, kids from Winthrop call it the Ranch.
The Ranch?
The Ranch, that was their name for it, but we call it bogeys.
I've never heard the Ranch. I'm from East Boston, and I've always
Yeah.
called it bogeys.
That's why we always had problems with Winthrop kids.
I can imagine.
Yeah, growing
It's
up.
been
we
tough
did.
living there.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up right here, and I live close by. I literally live in like the first street in Saugus from the Revere side.
Mm-hmm.
So I stay close to my roots.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the city.
What do you do?
Well, I'm. The mustache doesn't say it.
It's
all,
not
does it?
doing it
it's
yet.
It's not there yet. It's growing. I'm a firefighter in the city.
Firefighter by day.
Firefighter day and night. It's
Wow.
a 24-hour thing.
You're supposed to go with it for me.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Ruined it.
And I'm a recovery advocate here for Power. So just embedded in service. Just out there trying to make a difference wherever I can.
Yeah, you have a little bit of your political side, too.
I do, yeah. I'm an elected official in the town of Saugus,
You
which
are.
is kind of funny to have that title. Not a big title, not a big deal at all, but
It's a little bit of spice.
It's a little bit of spice, sure. I put it on the resume, but it keeps me in the conversation. It's a whole, I got involved so I could, try to make a difference. And really, the honest to God thing was I was just tired of like looking around and seeing things that in my eyes doesn't work, and I got tired of complaining to myself and woke up one morning and said, you know what, I can
Do something.
do something, absolutely. And so I went and ran for office and won, and I'm up for re-election this year, but nobody ran against me, so I'm in again.
By default.
By default.
I love that for you.
Didn't have to put up one sign, didn't have to knock on one door, and I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, It puts you in a different conversation. It gives you the ability to have a vote on a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, though. Politics, what I've realized, and I knew this before, but you don't really know until you see it, is they're not actually looking for solutions. I'm a solution-based guy.
Yeah.
In politics, they just like the problem.
The chaos.
The chaos, the problem, like they don't actually want to solve any of the problems. They don't want the solution, which is extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
The people want the solutions, but when you bring the solutions forward, there always seems to be a political angle to it. And it's just tough to get stuff done sometimes. But, learning a lot and just keep pushing forward,
Nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. The whole politics thing, could never. So I commend you for it.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a good friend who was mayor in this city for a long time, and I used to talk to him all the time. I used to watch what he went through, and I always said I will never, ever, ever, ever get involved in politics. And then, here I am.
Yeah. Well, I think you're eager to make a difference wherever you can.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully you'll put a dent in politics.
Well, I'm going to do my part. I'm a big community guy, so really just doing stuff to enhance the community, help the community.
Where does that come from for you?
I would say, honestly, like to be completely honest with you, I think it came from when I got clean, like being part of like the NAAA community. Right, that's where my foundation is, and started, and that was really my first real time being part of a community. Now I'm a Marine, right? I went to the Marines right out of high school, but I'm a reservist, so Marine reservist. So I did all the training, and I never went out to the fleet, so like I didn't get that like community piece of it out there.
Oh, you probably would have thrived.
I thrived in structured environment. Jail and the Marines, I did really well. In. Like, tell me what to do. I'll do it.
If I'm a part of this community, I'm going high.
Yeah, for sure. But really, just kind of coming up in AA and NA and being part of like that community and feeling part of a community, which is something that I don't think I ever felt part of, was huge for me. It's really just a natural thing. At this point,
it is for you. I mean, knowing you, I feel like it is really natural for you. But a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people are afraid of that, or just don't want to take things like that on because it's a lot of responsibility and you can get lost in it. You know what I mean? I mean, speaking for myself, like running events and trying to fundraise and like trying to really work with the community, it's hard. It can be, you know?
Oh, 100%. It is, especially when you're the only one doing it. The trick is enrolling more people to be part of it, right? Creating that opportunity for people to get involved. And there are a lot of people out there that want to help, that want to be a part of it, and some will come grudgingly, right? Because everybody's sort of busy and has a lot going on.
It's just finding them, though.
It is.
It's like a needle in a haystack of people that actually want to partake in things or be a part of or donate or, just show interest. It's like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. It can be really discouraging.
It is. I've had a lot of success in stuff like this. Like my coat drive, I do a Coats for Kids drive every year. In Revere at Drift. This year, shameless plug, December 10th at Drift. That's a Wednesday, yeah. Wednesday night. We've been doing it for 10 years. And at this point, like I don't really have to do anything. I just put the date out there and people show up. But then there's, I did a dodgeball tournament a couple of years ago, and I got like 3 teams to show up, and one of them, thank God, Chelsea's House and Power showed up because I wouldn't have had any teams.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's real challenging.
Yeah. It's running a risk too, because it takes a lot of effort and time
and vulnerability.
Yeah.
And vulnerability, right? You put yourself out there to do this thing, and then you're always risking feeling like a failure, or even sometimes just going to have those conversations, asking people for money and donations.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable.
It can be.
You have to like really step outside of yourself, because me, I don't have it in me. And then I wanted to start this nonprofit in honor of my mom, and it means so much to me. And like to have to really get uncomfortable with like begging people for money sometimes, you know what I mean? And it can be really, and then when no one shows up, like your dodgeball event, it crushes you, and people don't talk about that enough.
Yeah, for sure. And the first thing like is the why behind it, right? The why, like for your nonprofit and your mom, like that's the why, right?
Right.
So always having that commitment up front and having that first and foremost for me is super important.
You.
Yeah, right. That's the thing that keeps me going, right? That keeps me going. And then when there's when things like the dodgeball event, right? Not everybody, I didn't it didn't look the way I wanted to, right? So I always try to take those opportunities as not as a failure, right? Like I failed, right? But as a failure in performance. So I look at it like what did I do? What could I have done? What could I do better next time? I try to take it like an opportunity. I try not to turn these lessons in life as like, make wrong, or there's something wrong with me, or I did something, and I just try to take it, take something positive out of it, right? Because there's always opportunity to learn and grow here for me. That's how I always kind of approach things.
Yeah.
As best as I can. It's not easy all the time.
Just a person.
Just a human being.
That's it.
It's just trying to make it.
So are you a person in recovery?
I am, yeah.
What did that look like for you?
Well, for a long time, it looked like complete abstinence. I got clean in 2009, and like I mentioned earlier, AA and NA, my foundation. And it was my foundation for a very long time, doing commitments and speaking and stuff like that, and just going to meetings and the parties and the dances, and that was like I loved it. He was that community piece, right? It was huge for me, really feeling a part of. And I stayed completely abstinent free until August of 2021, when my daughter's mom, Tina, was tragically killed by a drunk driver. She was coming up on her 9th year sober. And, without going into details, I used like weed as a relief valve, right? Like it was almost just a very natural thing, right? Like And I don't regret it at all. Like, I really don't. I don't regret it. I've learned a lot from, the time that I did use the weed, and I even drank a couple times over that period of time. Like, and for me, I stopped counting time a long time ago. Now I know that to some people that's real important, and it is, right? Especially in the fellowships, because it proves the program works, right? For me, and also in the program, they say, hey, 1 day at a time, right?
Right.
You can have 40 years, but that's 1 day at a time, right?
Yeah.
40 years. Now, the time for me, at one point, I can look back in my journey here, and it became like an ego thing. Like, looking back, right now, looking back at it, and it was like an ego thing. Like, look at me, I got 10 years here, I got 12, whatever it was. And it became part of my identity, right? Like, I'm this guy walking around with all this clean time, like that. Like, for me, like, I recognize that now, looking back at it. I don't regret the time that I used weed and alcohol after Tina's passing, because it provided the relief that I needed, right? Now, I'm not suggesting this for anybody. This is just part of my story, right?
Yeah, of course.
And because what I went through was extremely, it's been the most horrifically difficult, traumatic experience of my life, and my daughter's life, right? But I don't actually consider that part of my life as not recovering. So I learned a long time ago that, like, recovery looks different to everybody, right? And for me, again, I can only speak for myself. And recovery for me, I was asked a very long time ago, it's actually in the NA workbook, step working book, right? And the question was, what's recovery mean to you? Or do you know what you're recovering from? I think it was one of the questions. And my sponsor asked me, he says, do you know what you're recovering from? And I said, yeah, I'm recovering from using drugs and alcohol for a very long time. And he said, no, you're recovering your relationship with God. And that hit me back then. Like, I'm a spiritual guy. I'm a very spiritual guy. I have physical evidence of a higher power working in my life.
Not a lot of people do.
Yeah, no, and that's okay. Like, I remember hearing a guy in AA say, hey, listen, we're not telling you to believe in God. We're just telling you to believe that you ain't God. And I think that opens the door for some people. But, I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person.
Yeah.
Right? I believe in something bigger than myself. So over the years, that's also, sort of morphed into this, bigger belief of, recovering from, recovering my relationship with God, recovering that relationship with myself, right? Like, this is the most important human relationship I'm going to have in this life is with myself. Right? That is the most important. I think people
are afraid of that.
They're afraid of that, but I think some people don't even realize what the relationship with themselves looks like. They don't even connect the dots, like, right?
Because you're taught from such an early age about what your relationship with other people should look like, should feel like, how that's going to guide you in life, and you got to lean on people. You're taught from a really young age, like, be kind and all this. So I think that people forget about themselves in the process.
Yeah, we don't do a good job. Our school education system, we as a society don't do a good enough job. I think it's starting to turn a little bit, right? There's more conversations around self-care and stuff like that, right? And how important that is. But recovery for me is rebuilding that relationship, having that relationship with myself, right? Being who I say I am, right? By creating it in language and then backing up with action, right? That, like, these things for me are things that, escaped me when I was using, right? Escaped me all those years. So over the years, this has been something that I've been recovering, right? And it's been quite the journey, and I've been able to really create a lot and accomplish a lot because of it. So for me, like, even looking back at those couple of years that I smoked weed, I was still recovering, especially going through what I was going through, right? Because I was really angry with my higher power for a while, but then I recovered that relationship as well, right? And I was always sort of trying to move forward, right? Because I got a lot of responsibility, right? Not just out in the world, but I'm a father first and foremost, right?
Right.
So I had to be there for my daughter. It was extremely important. And then it was literally like getting hit in the face with a shovel. I woke up one morning, I'm like, oh man, keep smoking weed. This is, like it wasn't just like, oh, let me smoke a little weed here and there. Like it literally became a pen in my hand all day long, right? All night long. Like the minute I woke up to the minute I went to bed, I'm hitting that pen. And it just became so clear that I'm the type of human being that I can't
do anything in moderation.
There's no one is too many, thousands never enough, right? It's the more now. I heard a guy say in a meeting one time, he was talking about his drug of choice. He says, my first drug of choice is more. My second drug of choice is now, more now. And like that resonated with me because I'm like, that's me. It's always that, right? And it just doesn't go with substances. It'll go with gambling. It'll go with making money, spending money, shopping, work, women, like all of it, right? And that's why recovering the relationship with myself is really important, right? It's like how do I want to live? How do I want to experience life? Do I always want to be chasing something around? Do I want to have to do something to feel something?
Right.
I've learned along the way that you start with the feeling, then you do something, and then see what you end up with. So it's been a journey. So I put the weed down. I've been completely sober again. It's again I don't count the time. I do have a date. It's sometime I have it written down on the calendar. It's like February or March, a couple of years ago. And for me, it's a daily thing. Like it's really like it's just a day at a time. And I was told a long time ago, again, I've been extremely blessed in life to have a lot of people before me who have been through this and still continue to go through this, tell me a lot of things that I listen to, right? Like, like I had a sponsor told me once, he said, don't ever say you're never going to drink again, right? Don't look that far down the road.
Right.
You're going to give yourself anxiety. Like this isn't like I'm never drinking again, I'm never going to do drugs again. Like I don't take it like that. I don't look at life like that. It's like right now, today, just for today, I'm not drinking. Just for today, I'm not using any drugs, and I got to tell you, like, I'm extremely grateful for where I'm at today. Like I have that foundation that, of gratitude that I just sort of live my life on top of.
Yeah, they say a grateful heart never uses.
They do, yeah, and that's true. That's a true statement. And people also say you got to have a program in your life, right? Because when shit hits the fan,
what do you rely on?
What do you rely on? And at the time of Tina's passing, I had no program in my life, and not that that's a bad thing, right? I was doing a lot in life, right? But
do you think that if that was still in place and you were still working a program, things would have been different?
Maybe not. I don't know. It was a pretty
dark place.
Pretty dark, tragic. I've never been shook like that in life when you get told, that after you just spoke to someone 2 hours ago, and it's a very sort of out of the,
out of body experience. Yeah.
Well, that is it's just like one of those, like, I related to like watching war movies from like back in the day when like Civil War type time, right? Where you're just lined up in a line and the guy next to you all of a sudden gone. Yeah. Gone, just like that. Yeah. And then, there's a lot that comes with losing someone like that. And then forget my grief, right? Now the pain really comes from my daughter's grief, right? So it was a challenging time. But I don't know. I don't know if there was a program, and I don't spend a lot of time in looking back either, right? I try to pull lessons, and that's it, right? Because there's nothing we can do about that back then, right? At all. Yesterday, can't do shit about that. Can I swear on this podcast? Yep. Oh, shit, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Fuck. I've been holding in my swears.
Damn,
no, I know. I fucking swear all the time.
Loosen up a bit.
Yeah. Nah, I just try. You know what it is I had to do a thing at City Hall today. So, I tried not to swear.
Dude, all your different hats, you got to learn to, like, take one off every now and again.
You know what it is? I try to know my audience, and I know better over here, you especially.
Yeah.
That jacket says it all right there, girl. Look at you. Oh, shit. It's a statement. As soon as I saw you today, I'm like, man, that's a statement.
I told you got to walk with confidence.
I love it. Yeah. And
important.
And it inspires people, too, right? Like that.
I hope so.
Absolutely does. It inspires me. And that's something I always strive for, too, right? Like a lot of pretty much everything I do is to try to give somebody hope, right?
Yeah.
Try to create a little bit of hope out there. Because I can look around and there's a lot of stuff that steals that hope from me, rips it away from me, right?
Yeah.
I need the hope. I look around and I try to pull the hope out of stuff, right? I look for the good. It's easy to see the bad out there. You got to really sort of...
Yeah, it's a cold world.
It can be, for sure. And I try not to say things like that, right? Because the more I say it, the more it makes it real for me.
Yeah, you're speaking it into existence.
100%. Well, our words create the context. And
100%.
context creates the world we live in, right? So I try to use the language that's going to keep me empowered, right? Because if I just look at the world for how the way it can seem, like if I scroll social media or watch the news, I try to stay away from that.
You
I'm not
soak
saying
right into it. You become
it's so easy, right? And without getting into conspiracies and stuff, maybe that's what they want, right? Who knows? I know what I want for my life. Like and a lot of it really just comes down to what is my experience of life? What do I want it to be? Like in this conversation right here, right? I want to be able to sit here in front of cameras, just have a conversation. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? So like
living authentically.
Yeah, for sure. And even if I am uncomfortable, it's okay. I can, you know what I mean? I can say that. And I'm not, right? I'm just chilling us. And Dave.
Yeah.
Right? What's
chilling.
up, Dave?
What? Having a time.
Yo. I'm so glad you asked me to do this. I'm not glad that I was the second choice. Somebody didn't show up, whatever it was. It's okay.
It's fine. That's what we do. We show up.
That's
it. No better person to make an example out of like somebody who shows up no matter what. And I had one question for you that I don't want to slip away because my brain. What core things do you do now to make sure that your relationship with yourself is where you want it to be in order to thrive?
So one of the most important things is honoring my word. It's so important because when I say I'm going to do something and then I don't do it, right? Let's just say I tell you I'm going to meet you at 7:00 and then I don't show up at 7:00. Not only is that diminishing my word with you, right? Next time I tell you I'm going to show up at 7:00, you'd be like, yeah, all right, 7:30. It diminishes my own listening for myself, right? So it impacts the relationship I have with myself. So doing what I say and saying what I do is really important for me. Now, what goes with that too is paying attention to what I'm saying I'm going to do.
Right. Not getting ahead of yourself and things like that.
Well, and I can do that, right? Because I don't want to say no to stuff, right? And I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. So I want to say yes a lot of times, but I also got to know my limitations, right? I got to know that I can't just say yes to everything, nor do I want to, right? And that's another big piece. Like I'm not just going to say yes because you want me to. I got to why am I doing this? For who am I doing this? What's the intent? You know what I mean? So paying attention to that type of stuff is extremely important for me. I have sort of a morning ritual, that I do daily. Yep. I mentioned I got up at 4:00 this morning. I usually get up at 5:30 because I get up early enough so that I can do this routine. Today I happened to get up at 4. I had some extra time. But I do some morning pages. I got out of a book called The Artist's Way. And The Artist's Way is an interesting book. It's a very spiritual book. And it's a 12-week book. Come to find out, the woman's in recovery, right? There's a lot of language around God and spirituality, but the intention of the book is reconnecting with your creative self. So she suggests that we're all creations, and the only way to really show your gratitude for being created is to create. And we're all artists. But in this book, one thing that you do throughout the entire book is 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing. And the idea behind it is that when you do these stream of consciousness writings in the morning, you get out all that stuff in the morning, get out of the way, and you make room for more creative thinking later. I've been doing these pages since 2014. And very consistently, like I have a stack of notebooks that's like insane. And so that's a big part, right? And that's a big part for me in my relationship with myself too, is to do that writing, because there's a lot of stuff that comes out in that writing. Because it's not now just, oh God, I got to take a piss, I'm so tired. Like it's morphed into intentional sort of why did that happen? Why did I let that bother me? Why am I angry at this? What's really going on here? And sometimes it's just writing. So it's really, you don't think about what you're writing. You're just writing what you're thinking. And it's been such a trained muscle that it really works for me. So that's super important. I
That's
pray.
interesting.
Yeah. I do that every morning. I pray every morning.
Take your dog out every morning.
The dog is a big part of my life, man.
I remember when I called you a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, what are you doing? You sound like you're in bed. Why aren't you up? You're already up and out, and the dog's already being walked, and what is wrong with you right now?
Oh, man. That dog rescued me. I might have rescued her. Best breakup.
Tool?
Well, no. Well, what's the word? Like, from a breakup, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I never wanted a dog, right? I never had a dog, and my ex wanted a dog because she didn't like when I'm at the 24-hour shifts at the fire department. She didn't like being alone, so she wanted sort of a god dog. And this dog doesn't bark. Like, she's the sweetest
opposite
thing.
of a god dog.
Complete opposite. But that's why we got her. And then when we broke up, she had no problem giving me full custody of the dog. And
wow, you lucked out.
I sure did. And it's it can be a lot owning a dog, but
yeah, especially with as busy as you are.
yeah, but we have a great routine, right?
Yeah.
That's why I get up so early and make sure I get her out for a run or a walk, whatever it is.
She's not needy because she knows what she can expect.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's part of my recovery too, right? That's a huge piece of it for me. And that dog gets me out more. I'm in either Breakheart or the beach every day.
Yep.
Every single day I'm at one of those two places, right? And I love that, right? I'm getting my steps in. I'm out in nature. I always feel sort of more plugged in when I'm in those places.
Yeah, and you're with her, but you're also spending time with yourself.
Absolutely, for sure. So that, I meditate. I have a whole back and forth thing with meditation. I've been meditating recently.
Yeah, you give meditating. Like, you give off meditative vibes.
Because I'm meditating. I've been meditating for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah. You're meditating right now.
Yeah, right now, this is meditation for me. Running is meditation for me. When I run,
I can't. I've had this conversation. I think I was talking to Damon and Dylan from Aftermath at the event we were at in, I think it was Somerville or wherever we went. I forget.
Stoneham. Yeah.
And it was, you can't, I'd rather lose my limbs than have to run.
Really?
Yeah. So when I meet people that enjoy running, I like to just hear about it because it baffles my mind that that's something that people enjoy to do, because it's literal hell for me. But I think it's crazy that people enjoy it and that you consider it meditation.
So I've had a journey with running, right? I've been running since baseball in high school, right?
Yeah.
They used to make you run around, I hated running. And then the Marines, I learned how to run and I learned how to push myself.
And the purpose of it and the benefits of it.
Well, I didn't learn that in the Marines. We were sort of forced to run, right? I learned how to push through the pain of the run.
Yeah.
Where it's all mental. That's really where I learned it's all mental, but there was a good
it's all physical for me.
See, but it's not. It's all mental, because the physical, it's the brain that's telling you you're in pain.
Right.
Right? So but when I got clean too, I was 30 years old when I got clean. And I started running again. I don't remember how I started running, but I started running. And I remember I was running more for the exercise of it, right? How you gain a little weight when you first get clean. I wanted to lose some of that weight. I started running. Long story short, it really, and I ran throughout the years, right? I've done half marathons. It's as far as I'll go as a half marathon. But the biggest change for me came after Tina's passing, really. I found myself running more than ever. And metaphorically, right, I was probably running from a lot of feelings, but it was a big release for me, right? I for a long time after that passing, I had this it was I had the sun inside of me, this ball of energy, rage, anger, pain, all of it, and it was weighing on my chest. I couldn't breathe, and I was, trying to find a way to just release it. And running, I ran something like 400 or 500 miles that next summer. Like in a summer.
Right.
Like that's how
You spent the whole summer running.
the whole summer. Like I think I started in the spring, like the whole summer. Like I have it on my phone, like I track them all. Like it was like 450 miles.
That's crazy.
It was insane. It was a crazy year. And somewhere along the lines, running shifted for me because on those runs there was a lot of emotional. There was a lot of clarity. There was also a lot of emotional release. After the emotional release came the clarity, and then became the calm. The calmness came, and then it was really just focusing on my breath.
Yeah.
And that's, I used running a lot of times to like answer. I would go into runs with questions that I wanted to have answered by the end of the run, because I wanted to keep my brain busy while I was running, so I wasn't focused on the pain of the run. And so just sort of, that type of journey through it. And now it's just become something I love to do. I love getting out there for a run. Now, don't get me wrong. There are times where I've told myself I'm getting out for a run, and I only go because I told myself I'm going for a run. I wake up, it's pouring rain out, which sometimes I really love running in. But it's just that kind of morning you want to stay home. But I push myself because it's important for me to honor what I said.
Yeah, to stay consistent with the things that work for you.
100%, and that word to myself, because if I don't go, I told myself I was going to go.
Yeah.
Again, like I got to be very careful with diminishing the listening of myself, because it'll go fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it goes real quick.
Yeah.
That inner critic we all got.
Yep.
Yep.
So can we touch a little bit on the millions of things that you've done in your lifetime? I feel like you are somebody who has lived like 500 lifetimes in one. And I think like one of my very first conversations with you when meeting you, I literally didn't even know you, and you're like, yep, I've done this. I've been in the Marines. I've done this. I actually was traveling the entire world when I got a phone call about being a fighter. And I'm like, this motherfucker, like, what haven't you done?
Oh, there's so much I haven't done.
Yeah, so much you haven't done. How many places in the world have you traveled to?
I've been to a few, not as many as I wish I have been. I've done some traveling. I've been, all over Europe, and I did a big trip. The trip that you're talking about when I got that email, right, was I was turning 40. I got on the fire department late in life, right? I got sober at 30, and every 2 years I was taking that exam.
It's something you always wanted to be?
Something I always wanted to be. So a quick funny story was back in 2003, when my using was really just sort of taking off, I got offered the spot on the permanent reserve list in Revere. So I had taken the exam back then, scored really high, and they got to my name. So the way Revere does it, and some other communities do this, right, some other municipalities, is they have they call it a permanent reserve list. So basically you take the exam, the civil service exam, the city will take you through the interview process and technically hire you onto the permanent reserve list, which is when your retirement time starts.
Oh, wow.
And then you're guaranteed the job. Once you're on that list, you're guaranteed the job. It's just a matter of when the spots open at the actual department. So I was offered one of those spots back in 2003.
And you were active?
I was active. And in fact, when the deputy chief came to my door, I had this big cloud of smoke behind me. I didn't know who rang the doorbell. I went down, like I had a bunch of people upstairs. We're all getting high, and I told him, I said, I think I left the stove on. And I went upstairs, I'm like aerosol spray, and I go down and he's looking at me like, cause he knew exactly, he heard it. Like, he's like, I'm going to be your boss someday. But what ended up happening was I was told I can say no.
And then revisit it? I
can say no. I can turn down the job 3 times. When you're on that list, you can turn the job down 3 times. But I didn't know that I was signing to get on this is how messed up I was at the time.
Yeah. I
didn't know I was signing no to the permanent reserve list. I thought I was just saying no to 1 to 3 times. I ended up saying no to the permanent reserve list.
Wow.
Guys got hired, guys that were right where I was on that list got hired like within 6 months. I would have had that job, at however old I was in 2003.
Yeah.
I was a disaster.
Right.
I would have lost that job. So I truly believe everything happens.
Of course.
Exactly the way it's supposed to, when it's supposed to.
Because you've done so much since then too, that you probably wouldn't have been able to if you were.
Well, I lost Yeah, so I worked for Verizon before for 20-something years. I lost my job for 2 years with them, from 2009 till about 2011. No, I'm sorry, 2008 till about 2010. So yeah, I would have never kept that job.
Yeah.
And so I'm extremely grateful. And getting on it, the age I got on, you have a completely different life perspective, right?
Yeah.
Life looks different at 40 than it does at 20-something years old. So what happened was I kept taking the exam every 2 years, and I said, you know what? Like, I'm going to be 40 this year. I had taken the test. My eligibility was ending at the end of 2018. This is the beginning of 2018, and I was turning 40 in August. I said, I'm done taking the exam. I'm gonna, I got a year left on my eligibility. If I get put onto that permanent reserve list, that's if I don't, then that's it. I'm done trying. And sort of for me, a guarantee that I was done, sort of like the sort of stake in the coffin was wait, that's not the expression.
No, I don't.
What's the expression?
Necessarily think that it is the nail in the
coffin.
coffin.
The nail in the coffin. Thank you. I was thinking stake in the heart. Coffin.
Stake in the heart.
Yeah, like a vampire. I don't know. I'm tired. So. What I did was I said, you know what, I'm turning 40. I'm going to take 2 months off from work, and I'm going to go travel. You ever see the movie The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Lauren hasn't seen any movies, but I've seen The Beach.
You've seen The Beach?
Yeah. I'm not big on movies.
Ever since I saw that movie, I always wanted to put a backpack on and travel. So I said, fuck it.
You were just taking off.
Literally, that's what I did. I
got murdered in that movie.
Somebody did die in that movie. Yes, yes.
He didn't care at that time.
He had a great trip. That was a great trip.
It was worth it.
So I booked a one-way ticket to Bangkok.
Yeah, this is the story I remember. I just met you. I'm like, this fucking guy is wild.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go travel for 2 months. And so I was going during the time the exam was being given. So that was sort of my I'm done. This is it for me. I didn't know where I was going. I booked a one-way ticket to Bangkok, and I was just making it up as I went. Backpacking it for 2 months. So as soon as I land in Thailand, right, it was a 24-hour flight. I land in Thailand. I hit the airport Wi-Fi, and all these emails come through. And one of the emails was from the Revere Fire Department saying, congratulations, you're being considered for a position on the permanent reserve list. You have 6 days to come sign on whether you want it or not. So now I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? All philosophical. Am I not supposed to be on this trip? Am I not supposed to be on that job? Right? Like, yeah, exactly. Like, what's going on here? Right? What's the universe trying to tell me? And then, something I've learned along the way is, fuck it, I can have it all. Right? And so, I made a couple phone calls, told people, what my situation was, and they know how much I wanted this job. And, I got a call from the chief secretary at the time. She says, hey, your daughter's 19, right? Send her down. She can sign your name for you. And so she went down, signed my name, and I traveled for 2 months, and I was all over the beaches of Thailand, and then I went to Bali for a month, and it was an incredible trip, and I came home and got on that job.
Onboarded.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And, one piece, and I don't share this a lot, but I will with you, in the, 30 or 40 viewers you get on this. I don't know. I don't know what you get on this podcast. Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. I don't know how many. Honestly, I don't. We probably get a lot, I would imagine.
That's fine. We're past it. Go ahead. What are you going to share with us?
So that whole trip, the biggest... That trip was actually was born because I was going to kill myself.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to kill myself. I was at a very, very low point. And this is clean. This is sober. I was going to kill myself. Mm-hmm. It was a really dark place for me at that time. And without getting into too much detail, I was in a really dark place and really actually thought it through. At the time, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park had just hung himself. Chris Cornell. And I was listening to Linkin Park in my earpiece literally from the minute I woke up all day at work, when I got home, and it was like November, so you know how it gets real dark. Like as soon as this weekend passes, it gets dark at like 4.
Yeah.
I went home from work. This is when I was working at Verizon. Shower, and I went right to bed, and I had Linkin Park. I didn't put on the TV. I just listened to Linkin Park. It was really weird. My daughter at the time moved out to California. I was by myself. I just felt really alone. I felt like I had no purpose. Like, what am I going to do now? I was just in a pretty dark place. And it got to the point where on like the third day, the second day I Googled how they killed themselves. They both killed themselves the same way. Something over the door, tied to the doorknob. So I got to the place where I actually put something around my throat to just kind of feel what it felt like. So at the time I was doing these morning calls with a couple of guys that I did some work with. And we sort of did like an accountability call, right? And so on this call, these are sort of the closest people at the time, right? I was talking to these guys every day, every morning. And I said I told them where I was at. I didn't give them all the details. I just said, hey, man, I'm not like, I'm kind of in a pretty dark place and thinking about,
Yeah.
And one of the kids says, I don't believe you.
I feel like that's so common.
So in my head, I'm automatic. Oh, yeah? I'll fucking show you.
Because especially with you and how you are with your word, I'm sure that always lived inside of you long before you really put it into like, this is what matters the most to me. I'm sure your word has always mattered to you, right?
Yeah.
So for somebody to challenge your thought process like that is wild.
Well, I'm grateful he did. Because what he said was, I don't believe you. Because if that's true, why haven't you quit your job? Why haven't you traveled? Why haven't you done all this stuff before you do it? And in that moment, I didn't recognize it in that moment because in that moment, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll fucking show you. Yeah, you don't believe me, right? Later on that night, I was having dinner with a friend who was in town visiting, and I had like this epiphany, this moment while I'm at dinner with her. And I said, you know what? And this is, I actually said to myself first and then to her, because she was somebody close enough and I was kind of sharing with her what I was going through. And I said, you know what? I'm going to fucking travel. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to fucking go do some stuff that I always wanted to do, and I can kill myself after.
If you still want to.
If I still want to. At the time, I knew I was going to want to.
Yeah. Or you didn't see any hope.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't.
I had like, I lost that. But what I really lost was gratitude. So that's where that idea was born. Right there at that table, we were at like, I don't know, some fancy place in Boston. I'll never forget it though. That's where that idea was born. I was like, you know what? I'm going to travel. And I got super lit up, super inspired by that, right? Where I'm going to create this trip. And I started to put all my energy, all my focus into that. And it created enough space from the way I was feeling, the way I was thinking at the time, where it was easy for me to see what was missing. What was missing was gratitude. I wasn't grateful for anything. I had all these blessings in my life, but I was simply hyper-focused on all the things that weren't working for me, or the things that hurt me, or the things that I was scared about. Fear, right? Fear is a huge one, right? Fear's big. And so, like, it was enough separation for me to see that, and suddenly I didn't want to kill myself anymore. And I was talking about this trip, because this is in November, and I was talking about this trip for a couple months now. I was dating this girl at the time. And we're driving, and I was talking about this trip, and she said to me, she goes, are you actually going to go on this trip, or are you just going to keep talking about it? And I looked at her.
Another challenge.
I literally, I pulled over. We were driving. I forget where we were going. I pulled over, got on my phone. I booked a one-way ticket to Bangkok for like 3 weeks later. I said, yeah, no, I'm going. I'm going February, whatever it was, right? February 1st. And that's how that trip came about.
That's crazy, because that always has like stuck out to me so much, that like, because you threw it around, and like I feel like it makes sense that it's heavier than what it was on the surface.
Yeah. What do you mean I threw it around? Like
you had mentioned it, like your whole becoming a firefighter thing. It's such a, and then you wonder like what the universe was trying to tell you in that moment, right? Because you're in Bangkok and you're getting these emails, and what is the universe trying to tell you? And it's just simply to live. Well,
you know what else it was telling me? It was telling me what you want and what you're supposed to do are aligned. Because that job right there gives me a real opportunity to make a difference. Like we're going to calls on some people. It is the worst day of their life. It will be the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And there's an opportunity there to make a difference. And even on some of these, lesser emergency calls, right, which seems to be something we get a lot of these days. We're dealing with a lot of mental illness out there, a lot of substance use. There are opportunities there, just to try to make a difference. And so I love the job. It's a service job, right?
Yeah.
It's like doing
You're
the
a person of service.
it really is like embedded in me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize, like, even looking back at my life, join the Marines.
Yeah.
My father gave me a choice. I ended up signing the Marines because my father said, you got two choices: get the fuck out of my house or join the Marines. Like, that was the choice I was faced with. Let me see. 17 years old. But it was an easy choice for me, not because I didn't want to be out in the street, right? Because I would have found my way, but it was because it gave me an opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it back then, but looking back, I know where I was at. I know my, and all through my life, like, it's just been something that's been part of me. Like, it's natural for me, for whatever reason, right? So service is and that's why I love my jobs. Like, even this job. The job I do here, like, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes with Maddie and Damon being the bosses, like, that feels like work,
They're the only reason it feels like work.
Oh, man.
Other than that, it's really rewarding, even on the tough days.
For real. Yeah, I get to, because I've been there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know, like, I'm listening on the phone, where, sometimes where people are calling me and they're in these positions, and it might not be the identical position I was in, but I know what that feels like.
Yeah, just feeling that broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopeless, right?
Yeah.
And being able to actually take an action, that's really simple for me, right? Because I build these relationships with people who work in the field, and I'm able to get people into treatment.
Yeah.
I thought he was giving us a sign.
Me
Did
too.
you too?
I always look out for.
46 minutes.
I mean, we can talk a little bit more if you want.
You like it.
Shit, girl.
He likes being on.
I mean, I like having a conversation.
Yeah. No, it's been great.
I'll probably watch this video and cringe and be like, oh.
No, I think that it was super
story?
inspiring. I think your whole, what you've shared has been really inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not really easily inspired. I am, but I'm not, because a lot of people's stories can be a lot like really similar, and I'm not the person on, like, listening on a call or taking a call that I've been on the other line of, but I think it's a matter of, for me, it's so admirable to hear the people that do call and, like, to be able to help them, because, like, my family members never were able to make that call. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that the purpose is deep for, I feel like, anybody that works in this field. You mentioned Maddie and Damon. I wanted to know how you met Maddie.
Maddie, man. So I go way back with Maddie. So my first introduction to NA was back in 2008. I had a sponsor. His name is Richie. Rich, I don't want to say name.
It's fine. You already said it. Is it Evans?
Yeah, Richie Evans.
Okay.
Richie Evans. Forever love that kid. That kid really, like, a lot of the stuff that I learned from Richie back then, it still applies today for me, right? He really planted a seed in me. Forever grateful for him. So at the time, he was my sponsor. He was my sponsor for the first 17 months of my recovery, right? Thank God. I really believe God works through people. So he asked me one day, it was a Saturday, and he said, hey, I have a friend. He can't get a ride from anybody else. His family won't help. Nobody's helping him. He's up in Danvers Cab, and he needs a ride down to Spectrum in Weymouth. He's like, well, can you give him a ride? I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll give him a ride. At that time, I was like a month clean. Like, whatever you say, let's do it. Cool. Yeah. So I go up to Danvers Cab, and here comes Maddie, right, fresh out of detox. Definitely smelled bad. He had a trash bag with him, and he gets in my car. And, this is like a 40-minute ride to Weymouth, right? And
was he miserable?
He's always miserable.
I know, but I can only imagine, like, in that moment, how much more fucking miserable.
He was miserable. And this is what inspired him at the time. He said that if the recovery thing wasn't going to work for him, he was just going to move to Tent City up in Lowell, because they had running water and electricity. He's like, that place got running water, electricity. I'll just go live there. And I'm like, wow, this kid's fucked.
Yeah, he's all panned out.
Yeah, for sure. And that was my introduction to Maddie, right? And this is classic Maddie here, right? So fast forward. So that was like December of 08. January of 08, I relapse. I end up in jail for like 6 weeks up in Middleton. Worst county jail ever.
Yeah, I've heard.
I get out, the worst of my using ever. Like when I got clean, I had an ankle bracelet on my ankle, facing 2.5 years in jail, foreclosure letter on my table with an auction date, a restraining order, I couldn't see my daughter, just got fired from Verizon, never used needles in my life until then. Mm-hmm. You know, and almost died on my floor by myself because I shot so much stuff into my body that day. It just... Mm-hmm. So I go back to meetings. So I ended up, the way I got clean was I ended up kicking cold turkey on my couch. It took me 3.5 weeks because I was eating like 20 or 30 footballs every night to go to sleep because I was shooting so much coke. And so 3.5 weeks, I go back to meetings. Well, one of the first meetings I go to, I see Maddie. And he just walks up to me and goes, wow, you look like shit, kid, and then walks by.
He stayed sober?
Who, Maddie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in that program down Spectrum. And then when he came up, he stayed sober. I don't want to tell his story. I think like at 11 months, he had a little slip up or something.
But then you were coming back, so you guys were...
Oh, and then we hung out. Me and Maddie, we met the healer. Like we did a lot of stuff, me and Maddie. There's videos of this woman that we used to run into her. She was a healer. She used to try to heal me and Maddie. I
don't think she healed Maddie.
No, maybe we can find her and get her back in.
Bring her back for the next meeting. Dude.
She was amazing.
He needs a healer.
Yeah. But I've got to watch him grow all these years. You know?
Yeah.
He's got a lot.
And build. Grow and build.
Grow and build.
Yeah.
You know? And
I'm so mad he hasn't been on this yet.
He hasn't?
No.
Wow. He should be. He
owns the place.
Well, yeah, but he's got an incredible story, and I don't know if you know this, but like this treatment company, Power Recovery, is built on top of the foundation of Chelsea's house, right?
Yeah.
Sober living for 14 years. But the way Chelsea's house was because of Chelsea Bob. Do you know?
Aware.
You know who Chelsea Bob is, right?
Yeah, I've been here. I've been around for a while.
You have been, right? Of course. So you know this. But Chelsea Bob, for me, was a giant in recovery, right?
Yeah.
He was the guy that, you know, when he hugged you was heart to heart, right?
Yeah, like a Johnny Festa. You know Johnny Festa?
100%, yeah. Him and Johnny were Winthrop Sunday night constant, right? Bring your own chair meeting down the beach, right? Like just Chelsea Bob was that guy for me who always told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear, right? He kept it real with you, and he loved you unconditionally wherever you were at. But he also didn't take no shit and really just gave it to you like real straight. And he was clean for a very long time. And you know, Maddie grew up in Chelsea, and obviously Chelsea Bob's from Chelsea. And he passed away from a liver transplant, didn't take.
Yeah.
And so Maddie and his brothers, wanted to do something to honor Chelsea. So they bought that house on Strawberry Lane in Lynn, fixed it up, turned it into a sober house, put a big plaque up that said Chelsea's house.
Yeah, had like 8 beds.
And that was it. That's how this whole thing started.
Yep.
And I always, I tell that a lot to people when I'm out there and I'm building these relationships, because I think it's real important that people understand and know the why behind all this, like where it started, right? Because that is still the foundation.
Yeah, and there can be a lot of impurity in this.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. So I think that like knowing that when working with somebody is huge.
Yeah.
To
100%.
say like, no, I had this dream, I'm honoring this person. Like you said, we talked about in the beginning of the episode, like the why.
Yeah.
And having that why and honoring that why, and yeah, it's huge.
For sure. And even before that, Maddie's brother used to do these big dinners Wednesday night.
Yeah, at his house.
Yeah, at his house. Mm-hmm. And it was just a handful of us in the beginning, right? We used to go to the men's meeting on Wednesday nights in Revere, and then we would go to his brother's house, and his brother would cook for us.
Yeah, that's a huge part of a lot of people's stories I've heard, being in the field for as long as I had, listening to people's stories and their commitments and things like that, that gets brought up a lot.
That dinner?
Yeah.
That dinner was huge, and that dinner grew.
Yeah, it helped a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Stay in it.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, there was, yearly trips up to New Hampshire. Like, it turned into something real, like a community, right? You talk about community, like that was a community, and that kept
and connection.
Connection.
Yeah.
Kept a lot, and you're talking about men, right? And a lot of men who never been hogged before, never like
no clue how to connect to anybody.
No clue, right? And that was sort of an introduction to it for some people, right? And it was a beautiful thing, and Chelsea Bob was a big part of that, and so that was like, and being there for that, like, I'm extremely grateful to know that, have been a part of that. Like, that was huge for me back then. Mm-hmm. Huge part. So
makes you want to find ways to like tap into that now for people
to like, somehow give it to them, right? In a way, right? And it's a big part of why we do this, right? We'll try to create that hope for people, try to show them, hey, listen, there's another way. There's more out there. Yeah. I don't think people really realize the possibility,
and how endless. Yeah,
it really is.
I know.
Do
you got any questions before we wrap it up?
I had one, but it would take another 10 minutes to really discuss.
Well, it's good. I mean, whatever. We're at this point. Let's do it.
I mean, I remember you mentioning something about like you're involved in politics or whatever. Have you ever like considered taking possibly like the system the way like meetings run, like an NA or AA run? Because I've been thinking about this a lot recently, where like considering like food stamps and all that right now, and how all that's being cut. And I've kind of think in terms of like going to a meeting and we all put in $1, and through that, we get books, key tags, whatever. And because I tend to lean more socially. Stop me if I'm being like too political, but like, do you ever equate like how that system runs to your political endeavors like that?
No. The short answer is no. I never really connect those two. For me, it's the biggest part is the solution, right? Like, what's the problem and where is the solution? And then, hey, okay, cool, we got a solution. Let's implement this. Because when you say like where we all sort of put, like, are you kind of like connecting to like taxes in a way, right? Because we all pay taxes and then the government uses it.
Absolutely. Doing it for like resourceful stuff, and like, because I see a lot of the reactions to being like, well, why should my money be paying for someone else's food? I bought my own. It's like, well, you could go into a meeting and say, I bought my own book. Why do I have to put in $1?
I got you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. And that comes up a lot when, like, let's say building a new school, right? There are a lot of residents that pay taxes that don't have kids in school, never had kids. Their kids are 30, 40, 50 years old. Why do I have to pay? Why are we going to pay more in taxes to build a new school? For kids that aren't mine, my kids will never go to. So sort of like that, right? That's sort of what you're pointing to. And again, like, it's a community thing, right? We're all part of this community. And when it comes to, something that may impact, like the population are never going to have people, like kids in schools, well, now it's a conversation about a new fire station. And now the rest of the town is going to have to, pony up more for a new fire station. And maybe some of them don't want that, but maybe the elderly people might need that, right? Because they get more medical calls, or, maybe they don't have a fire station on that side of the town. So for me, I always try to approach it from a community thing. I listen to what the residents say. I listen to what they want. And I'm really just a conduit for their voices, right?
Yeah, and finding the incentive in it for them, like getting creative around, like, how even if it doesn't affect them, how can it positively affect you?
Yeah, exactly, right? They're only looking at it one way, right? Like, this is going to hurt my pocket. Yeah. Okay, what are we getting from? Like, let's try to look.
Do you
from
want kids burning down your lawn, or do you want them in a decent school system?
and get a better school system. Your property rate value goes up.
Yeah.
Are you looking to leave this house to your children someday? Do you want to sell it and move to Florida? Like, trying to find that thing for them to connect to, right? But also too, like, it's important to take their voices in consideration, right? I gave an easy one, a school, right? Because that is I think super important. I think making sure the kids are set up for success and giving them the tools and the stuff.
Yeah, the future.
The future, right? But yeah, no, the biggest thing I can say about the whole politics thing is really just trying to listen to what people that voted for me, right, my constituents, what they voted, what they want, what their asks are, where they're at, and try to take it all in consideration.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I just thought it would be a good question because, you're someone in recovery and you go to meetings, and I feel like in my personal experience, it's strengthened my sense of community and relating it to politics as well.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And I sometimes wish more people in politics did the 12 steps. It would be a different government. It would be a different country. I always say
everyone would benefit from it.
Everyone, they should teach it in schools.
Yeah.
Take the word drugs, take the word alcohol out of it. Use another word, but it's the work, right? It's the removing the stuff that blocks us, that stops us, right? That we don't even know. That's over here. It's in our blind spot. Like, that work brings it right here. And it gives you so much freedom when you do that. You can see your problem. You can do something about it. Now you can leave it in the past.
Right.
The reason shit keeps showing up in your future is because you haven't dealt with the past. Your past keeps showing up in the future because you got to deal with it so you can leave it back there. And a lot of that work addresses that, and addresses your accountability for yourself, right? Like, your side of the street, that's a huge thing too. People always, you. Okay, what about here? I start here. I am not perfect, but I always try to start here. And step 4, resentment. So 4 columns. That gate really solidified that for me. Like, that really gave me the biggest sort of tool when it comes to, like, looking at my side of the street. What's my part in this? I got a part. We always got a part. And that work really helped me with that. And this is the type of shit we're not giving these kids tools.
No.
We are not. And this is why we're dealing with the mental health crisis amongst adolescents right now. The SA and SI stuff going on with them, the gambling addictions, the sud addiction. Like, there's just a lot going on out there. So, yeah, I'm a pro 12-step in the school type guy.
What do you want to end it with? Your episode. Yours.
My episode. What do I want to end it? Well, I'm actually really happy that you asked. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful, man. I'm grateful you asked me to be on this. And
what did you say before we started I said was super empowering?
That so being an addict, right, or an alcoholic, it doesn't define me, right? It actually empowers me, and it's just a part of my life. It's not my entire life. It's just an area. It was a part of my life. Many parts of my life. That's a part of my life that really empowers me, right? Because I've been to this dark place. I've been to this really, and I can easily go back, and I know that, but it empowers me to live my life a certain way today because I know what that's like, and I know what it can get to, and also death, right? Like, death is inevitable, and dealing with a tragic death like that, it puts a lot of fear into you, right? You're more fearful of it happening again, but the other side of that coin is it also empowers me to want to really live right now while they can. Because knowing that's coming, right?
Positively changes your perspective on life.
It can, absolutely.
After you've somewhat begun the healing process.
You got to go through a long process before you get to that positive side. But even, it actually, let me take that back because it really was like a switch.
Yeah.
Like, there was that part where I'm like, man, like, there's so much I want to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I can do, and you're not in a rushed type of sense, but more importantly, paying attention to my experience of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to waste my time worrying about what I said in this meeting or what she thinks of me, or like, I'm accountable for myself. I got to know who I am. I'm accountable for my actions. I'm accountable out there.
Yeah. So you seem to be really at peace.
I'm getting there. I got my days.
No, of course. And you always will. But
yeah,
for the most part, you seem really at peace, and you've done a lot of work to get there.
Gratitude. I'm grateful for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like the good, the bad, the ugly, because all of it got me here, right here on your podcast. This is where
Today.
all it is today, you know.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking me after somebody didn't show up. I appreciate it.
Stop saying that. We're going to cut that.
Yeah, and just Soba Bowl's coming up. Show up
Yes.
to that in Revere
Revere.
over at the football field over there.
Yeah.
Harry Del Russo
That
Stadium.
was actually all Matt that helped me with that.
No way.
It really was.
Well, what an honor. That's
I know.
awesome.
I know.
And also, we're almost at 100 subscribers, so
Hell yeah.
On
so
YouTube.
about a couple more. We're at 100.
We
Okay.
also have TikTok followers. So,
Right.
like, all of them together is a lot.
It's a
Okay.
lot. We got
All
a
right.
lot.
Hey, what's the date of that Sober Bowl?
November
November
8th.
Perfect. What
9
time?
a.m.
9 a.m. Harry Del Russo in Revere.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're on TikTok?
Yeah.
What's the
Mended.
At Mended Podcast.
Can you
Oh.
explain a little bit what mended means before we wrap it up really quickly with like 30 seconds?
Oh yeah, this is it's a name Lauren came up with, and it's I would say my perspective of like what the name means is like, you know, we have a Band-Aid on our logo, and it's like things are, you know, mended. You know, people were broken, and you know things are fixed, and
Healing.
You know, we're healing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Even if you're not completely mended, you're on the mend.
on the mend. Yeah, it's you know, good
Yeah.
all the good connotations that go along with it.
I love it.
Yeah. People have been asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Viewers, followers.
For the 100 people.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm subscribing and I'm going to follow you on TikTok. I just downloaded TikTok like a month ago.
You'll thrive on
I
on
have
TikTok.
I don't scroll. So I created for one reason.
What?
I'm going to try to just reach more people. I created an account. It's called Recovery in Real Time. And it's just going to be 45 seconds of recovery in real time, like what recovery actually looks like, you know, today.
Yeah.
And sort of just my take, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
We'll follow us and we'll follow you.
Yeah,
I got
keep
you.
We'll tell our followers to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can gain 30 or 40 of them.
All 30 or 40 of them.
Maybe. Because they might take it personal too.
They might.
Oh, don't take it.
That was a dig.
You know what? Call your sponsor.
Yeah. Goodbye. Thank you.